What is up, everybody? Happy Friday! Welcome to the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. I am one half of your host, your virtual bartender, Mr. Nick Teodoro. Joining me, as always, is my tag team partner in life, my wife, Miss Nicole. Nicole, what are you thinking? What are you drinking?
Oh, I was thinking so many things, but we'll get to that. I am drinking my signature Tito's, but today we spoiled ourselves and went to Whole Foods and I got fancy orange juice. What about you, Mr. Nick? What are you drinking? And I need you to tell me three things.
Mr. Nick is drinking his red wine as usual. Well, here's my three things for you, my love. The Rock has challenged Cody Rhodes. AEW has released the CM Punk All Out footage. And we've got a bunch of debuts. All that coming at you this week. We're going to get into it. Let's get it started. Starting on Raw, we have the official coronation of Cody Rhodes as our WWE Universal Champion. Heavyweight Champion, is that what we're calling it?
I think they took out Universal. Aren't they just saying WWE Champion?
Like, well, undisputed WWE Champion, Cody Rhodes.
Damian Priest is the heavyweight.
Yes. So Cody is officially coronated as our champion. And we look forward to his now reign in a new era for WWE. He was introduced by COO Triple H, a nice standing ovation. He had a nice video package that came out as well. Mm-hmm. Really tugs at your heartstrings.
I know, if you haven't watched it, get a box of tissues. But it's really sweet of just like the culmination, like the roads to becoming the champion. So it was a good little promo package. Then, of course, it's got to be interrupted
by the People's Champ.
Which, again, I don't know.
The final boss.
Did we mention it last or during Mania? Matt Cardona. Love Matt Cardona. Tweeted that, like, isn't it really embarrassing bringing a made-up belt to the ring? And he's like, well, yeah. And coming from Matt Cardona, that's hysterical. Obviously, tongue-in-cheek. But, of course, then Rock comes down, and it feels real awkward because he wants to hold Cody's belt.
Yeah.
Which feels weird. And then Cody was like, only if I can hold yours. I'm like,
you show me yours, I'll show you mine.
I don't know how I feel about any of this.
There is a resounding "this is awkward" chant going on in the crowd, which, like, honestly, the Rock's belt looks like trash. I think it looks garbage. I hate to say it. I know it was given to him. I don't know if it was like designed for that or what the deal is, but like it just looks trashy. Even like his old, I can recall him having a Brahma Bull belt.
He had it
and
for
it was
like a hot second.
And and like this one was just terrible. So like I don't even know why. The only thing I kept thinking about was like, oh my god, are they gonna try and name it like the People's Championship belt that Cody's gonna somehow get? But it was awkward as hell. And then eventually Rock puts on the belt,
I don't like it.
Which color scheme matched?
I know
really
it matched
nicely.
His vest very nicely, but I don't want him holding that belt. I don't want him anywhere near that belt. This I don't like.
I don't know. What do you all think? Do you want the Rock, Cody Rhodes? Like, could you see the Rock at what is he now? 47?
Old.
Being WWE champion. I mean, he's still. We saw him on Saturday night, still perform at a top level for how many? 30 minutes in that match. I know it was a tag match, but he performed well. Could he still go? I mean, he shows he could still go. Could he have a run with the belt? We've seen similar things with similar champions. Like Roman wasn't around that much.
I personally don't want to go back to having a champion not around. Like, I'm done with the name redacted. I'm done with Roman Reigns. I want my champion on TV every week. I don't know.
No, that's fair. So moving on, later into the promo, he gets to hold the belt and he loves it. It's a nice belt, whatever. Eventually, The Rock pulls something out of his pocket. We don't see what.
So he does say that he's like, basically sort of challenging. Like when everyone knows The Rock has to go away for a little while. But when he does come back, he's coming after Cody. And then he goes into his pocket, hands something to Cody that kind of goes in Cody's pocket. And he's like, don't break my heart again. So now everyone's like, what did he give him?
So I have a theory that he gave him a promise ring. And it's a promise ring to challenge him at a time in the future.
Time and place of his choosing.
Yeah, in the time and place of his choosing.
No.
What do you think?
It's the Rolex. Cody on the MMA Hour said that he had, well, I guess Ariel brought it up, and he had like custom Rolexes made, and he said he gave one to Seth. And then Ariel asked who else had one, and he's like, well, I'm not going to say. And then cut to the Hall of Fame induction, you see when Roman's introducing Paulie that he has the same Rolex on. So you could assume that Rock also has one. So I'm assuming he's giving that Rolex back to him. I think that's the big theory online. It's the Rolex.
She says a Rolex. I say a promise ring.
And I think the Rolex is also very symbolic because if you watch the news conference, the press conference afterwards, that Triple H had, I don't know how, I hope this is true, but tracked down the Rolex that Dusty pawned to put Cody through acting school.
Ed agrees. Ed said Roman and Heyman had one too.
I think it's probably the producers, so probably Michael Hayes, apparently Bobby Roode was also with Hayes doing the producing. So I'm pretty sure like kind of everyone involved in that little match got one. So I'm assuming it's giving him back. The whole "Don't Break My Heart" thing, I think it's because like I think Rock thought he was going to main event Cody and the Crybabies, me being one of them, changed the main event.
So speaking of main events, so this sets up a main event of the future with The Rock and Cody. The Rock said he's coming back for Cody. So it begs the question, when does this happen? So the two next logical designations that I see and that we could think of here were SummerSlam this year or WrestleMania 41. So we beg the question to everybody out there and let us know. Phone lines are open if you want to chime in. We're going to open those up in a little bit as Jackson is getting in trouble right now for licking everything, but it's perfectly fine. We're just going to keep rolling. So what I ask is, where do you want to see this match? And there's two lines of thinking is that, does this drag out till WrestleMania 41? Is this a WrestleMania 41 caliber match? I 100% believe so. But do you want to see that? Where does this make Rock and Roman Reigns fall in that whole storyline? So again, we're Nikki, before I go to you, let's see if there's any comments here. Oh, no, Ed just said Cody wants to see Rock's belt. Yeah, Ed. Anyway, but Nikki, I will go to you. What do you think about this? Where do you want to see this?
So we know
where and when
he's going off to make a movie, so it's definitely not going to be before SummerSlam. I know some people online were like, "Oh, Backlash!" It's like Cody Rock is not going to main event Backlash in France. They're doing a big stadium for SummerSlam in Cleveland. That might be too soon if he's gone till July. Not that it needs a huge build-up, but I feel like you got to get some interaction in between there, unless Rock's going to be like, dropping his, 4-hour Instagram stories running down Cody. I'm worried SummerSlam's too soon, but I also don't want it dragged out till Mania, because does that again make anything Cody does predictable? Because that's, we got to the point with like Roman wins, lol, not that he was gonna, when we had the LA Knight match, like obviously LA Knight wasn't gonna win. We know I felt like Drew McIntyre wasn't gonna win at Clash at the Castle.
Clash at the Castle. It's a
words are hard, kids.
Words are hard, but it's easy, hitting the like and subscribe button while we got people in here. Nice segue, but anyway, keep going.
Love it. So I don't know what a middle ground would. Rumble? But I don't know. Like, SummerSlam just seems too soon, but Mania's too far.
Yeah, like, where does that leave? Like, because I still personally want to see Rock Roman. That has the built-in, and their stories is still just starting. So there's going to be something with the bloodline to continue with those two. So And I would love to see that at WrestleMania. I think that makes sense. Cody could do more. And I said this weeks past. If Cody goes and gets over on The Rock as champion, the level of stardom it would take him to is unprecedented for him. He would be a megastar. Like, he's right now a main eventer with the world title. Now you can put him in any feud with anybody, which you could possibly argue before the last year he was kind of like that as well. But you could put him in any feud with any superstar and he'll get that person over. So that's what I'm hoping that will do for him, is that he could eventually, he said he wants to retire shortly after 40. If he does want to do a part-time. Yeah, I know he backtracked with his new contract, but like, even if I'm saying like down the road, we're talking 5-10 years from now, maybe, if he wants to be a part-timer and come in to put someone else over like The Rock does, like, like some of these older guys do, like John Cena has been doing the last couple of years. He can do that, but that only happens to me if he wins with The Rock. And that's the level of like.
That's also what they're also saying, that it's like, if it does, whether it's at SummerSlam or Mania, that Roman will cost Rock the match, and that would springboard into their program. So, are you going to wait till WrestleMania 42 to have Rock Roman?
I'm not sure. I would. I don't know if I want to wait that long, because everyone's kind of seen it for the last how many years. But so it's just, Ed wants, give me more Insta promos, please. I agree. The Rock was great at this. I was captivated for 20 minutes.
You gave me the cliff notes. I wasn't watching The Rock for the 20 minutes. You know how I all feel about The Rock. But again, I do like, not walking back, but like, I was surprised how well that match was. I guess, and that's the thing, that even though it was like a crazy tag match, but like, he was protected, like, within the tag match. And I know he had rings all over the world and he's training and stuff, but like, could he, again, a year from now, do a match one-on-one main event?
Yes, 100% agree. I think he knows how to. He's in one of the GOATs, unprecedented GOATs. He's on the Mount Rushmore for WWE. You know how we love to do Mount Rushmores on the show. But I think he could go, and I think he'll put together a good enough match around his skill sets that'll work. So,
what happens if he gets like a movie role that's like so bananas that he would take and like forgo? Like, oh, I'm not going to be around for me next year.
I don't think he's getting any movie roles that are that. Well,
I'm just
saying, but
he's Hollywood Rock.
You just never know. He is a superstar and a megastar. But you know who's into releasing videos? Perfect segue. Our friends in AEW and Tony Khan really wanted to release videos this week. So, into our topic 2 of this week's episode of the show, we're talking about AEW releasing the backstage footage of All Out of CM Punk and Jungle Boy Jack Perry's altercation. We'll call it that. Or as I like to call it, the Great English Chokeout.
Oh, I have a lot of feelings about all of this. So, sort of backtracking to set this up. Like,
I have a feeling a lot of people have feelings about this, so we want to hear from everybody, because a lot of people just came in as we literally changed over the slide. So please, if you're new here, please hit the like button and subscribe, and we want to hear from all of you, so chime on in. But anyway, go ahead, Nikki.
So, again, backtracking last Monday before. Anyway, so Punk, again, it was on the MMA Hour, and Ariel Helwani did ask about the Fallout Brawlout situation. And Punk was, to our surprise, who said something?
Sorry, Steven said AKA the Wrath of Khan. That's a good one. I had to. Touche.
So, at their Wembley show it was around Labor Day weekend here, CM Punk and Jack Perry got into it because apparently, basically, they wanted CM Punk to run Collision. Jack Perry wanted to do a segment breaking a windshield on a rental car. CM Punk didn't want him to do it because it's like, hey, if we're sending back a rental car that's smashed, then rental places wouldn't want to rent out cars to wrestlers and you're messing up people.
He's thinking big picture about the business and what the effect, the ripple effect.
He kept saying in the show, he's like, me being a booker. So he didn't want, he basically kiboshed it. Like, you're not using real glass. So at the Wembley match, he was on before Punk, or was there the thing between it? Anywho. So,
no, he was on before. He was on like the pre-show.
No, he was on the pre-show, but I don't know if there was a segment with Grado before. Like, I don't remember if there was a buffer in between. Anywho, it doesn't matter. So him and Jungle Boy are fighting. There's real glass involved. He looks into the camera and says, "Real glass, cry me a river." So CM Punk sees that. He goes to Gorilla, and basically there's what CM Punk said, that it was just like, why do you want to do this internet bullshit? Jungle Boy was like, do something about it. Skirmish. Basically, I don't know, there was a push.
He basically tough talked him and didn't expect him to do anything.
And then there was a push, and then CM Punk's like, well, I choked him a little bit. And they show the footage, and he chokes him a little bit. And then you have Chris Hero, Jerry Lynn, and Samoa Joe break them up. And then you see Punk kind of go, it looks like behind the monitors, and it was like yelling at Tony, was what he said, like, you're a clown or a joke or whatever. He's like, I quit, but then he did the match for Jerry Lynn and Joe and all that stuff.
Yeah, so
it was like 30 seconds. It obviously no audio. I don't know what it proves, what it shows. I think CM Punk basically didn't tell me when I'm lying. Where's the lie? Like,
so couple things. So after the video, as the video airs, and really after the video, more important, you hear a bunch of CM Punk chants, which on a different show, Arrival, it just looks really, really, really poor, in my opinion. The other thing that I take away from this is that, it didn't the reason that they supposedly released this video is because FTR is friends with Punk, and they kind of alluded, it didn't further. Oh no, they basically claimed in storyline, they claimed that they lost because they were worried about this. This was in the back of their minds and they couldn't focus.
EVP hats on, and they couldn't stretch, they couldn't hydrate, they couldn't pray, god damn it. And then it's like, then Nicholas was like, maybe they're like the masterminds, and Matthew was like, oh, you can't say that, you can't go on this forum and say stuff, so
do something about it. So he did. Yeah, he did.
Basically, and I know everyone's like, he assaulted him, and don't choke out your coworkers. Yeah. I think, and again, he did get fired. It's like, oh, you wouldn't do that in an office. And it's like, if you did do that in an office, you get fired. And CM Punk got fired.
And the problem is that, to me, that I really, really hated is that it really didn't have enough to do with the storyline to have them release this tape. And it was basically an overarching theme for the whole show that everyone was going to tune in for this. And I don't remember. So I had to go back, because obviously we prepped for the show, and I had to go back and look to see what was going on. And I was like, what else happened on Dynamite? And Okada wrestled. I didn't realize Okada wrestled. Everything about this Dynamite episode was centered around, it felt like I hate to say it, like an ego trip to just get back at comments that were made from Triple H, CM Punk, and Triple H last week. So, which brings me to the other. What? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
We're still. So.
Oh, sorry. We're still on this topic, but yeah.
Yeah. So I just don't. They had last Dynamite. So it was last Monday, because after Punk was on Ariel, Adam Copeland came out and opened Dynamite and basically said, stop with the tribalism. We all want wrestling. We all want good wrestling. Let's just focus on wrestling. And he gave this rah-rah speech that was like, yes, let's do the wrestlings. And then to come out this week and show this footage seems like such a you completely contradicted your TNT champion from the week before. It's not a good. I don't know what he thought this would accomplish. No one looks good. So this is the excuse why they lost to FTR at Wembley. So this is what you're using 8 months later to set up the tag match next Sunday.
And they've already had 3 matches, I feel like. So it's
this will be 4.
Yeah, so no one, I don't think, it's not enough intrigue. It's just meant to add some substance to this.
To build up to the tag match, and I don't think it does. I know, I loved FTR. I'm wearing my FTR shirt. Love them. But they, again, very Copeland-esque promo that was like, hey, like, let's not worry about this crap. This 8 months ago. Let's move forward. Like, stop.
That's exactly the focus the whole show should have been, and everything else, because you have this week, and we're no different than anyone else with podcasts. Like, this is WrestleMania week, and the week after, there's a lot of buzz still happening in the industry. Use the extra eyeballs that you would get. And if I were a casual fan tuning in, that would turn me off so much. And it spilled over to me, and this is going to segue into part two of it, of just an overarching theme of that night of just kind of a amateur hour of just, hey, I can talk crap, talk shit too, on air, and try and defend my name for whatever reason. And it spilled over into the Will Ospreay promo. And you all know that I love Will Ospreay. And he comes out, and basically the first half of his promo, he's going to have a phenomenal match with Bryan Danielson. And it should be the highlight. That's what this week. Ooh, sorry.
No, I want you to finish.
I feel like we're on the same page because I get her going. But like, I feel like that's what this focus should be. You have two of the best wrestlers in the world, WrestleMania week, building up their feud, your pay-per-view in another week and a half. And instead, the first half of the promo, and you can see in Renee's face, he's talking about an interview that Triple H had last week at WrestleMania, talking about the grind and people who don't want to spend all of their time or more of their time in the States competing at dates and competing night in, night out, and people who take a lesser schedule to perform more, and while they're happy for doing that. Will Ospreay, according to this promo, took that as a personal hit and a personal attack and proceeded to call out Triple H. And his line was, the only grinding that Triple H has done was on his boss, which obviously his boss's daughter. Sorry, his boss. Sorry, I don't know where it is, but his boss's daughter, and that's where it got him in the position he's at. Sorry. So very awkward. You could tell. You just look at Renee's face. Very awkward moment for everybody. That again took some of the shine off of what should be a phenomenal match that no one's seen before, and puts the focus again on the competition. That's really kind of what you did. You basically are living rent-free, or they're living rent-free in your head, instead of you putting on a great show. Yeah.
So many feelings about like.
Ed agrees. You're 100% right.
So I think it's too. I don't necessarily agree with Triple H making that statement, and everyone assumed he was talking about Ospreay. Again, I think Ospreay did the grind in the UK. In New Japan, I think he's phenomenal. I think Triple H I think he kind of shits on people that want to do a lesser schedule. Like, they don't do house shows, they don't do any of that stuff. You do your one TV taping, and a lot of like Rampage and all that sort of taped. So I guess it's very two schools about it. Like, I get what Triple H is saying, that like, if you're young and hungry and you don't want to do this grind, then you don't belong here. Also, not like Ospreay's like this up and comer, underdog babyface.
Right.
He's done it. So don't agree with that. Again, they just showed that phenomenal Bryan Danielson promo package. And then you cut to him like, oh, he's grinding on the boss's daughter. And I'm like, that's real shitty, because again, I know as Triple H probably got, with being in the clique and dating Stephanie, got perks, I'm sure. But look at him now. Like, we're ushering the Levesque era. Like, he's got such a mind for this business. And him and Stephanie, and then it feels gross that he's kind of shitting on Stephanie too.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't like that. And then again, Renee looks super awkward. I think her departure from WWE was very amicable. And she's done nothing but praise Stephanie McMahon backstage. So it just feels real icky. Again, you're one of the best fucking wrestlers in the world, about to wrestle one of the other best wrestlers in the world. Why do you need to talk about that?
Right.
There's no reason for it. And like in all his promos when he was like, I'm fighting for my misses and my pugs and my thing, and you're like, yeah. And then he just like takes a shot at Triple H. It's like, it felt kind of, and there's conflicting, like, he didn't want to say that line, and then someone else told him to say the line, but then he didn't want to say that line, so I don't know.
Yeah, there's conflicting reports on whether he did want to do that.
It just like, again, like, AEW, I want you to work. I like watch it and love it more than Nick does. Like, just be better. Maybe be a little bit above. But you've said that before. Like, focus on you. Focus on your pay-per-view next month or next week. Like, Danielson Ospreay doesn't need to talk about WWE.
Well, Steve says he hasn't done it stateside. Agreed, Steve. And that's what I want to see because I love Will Ospreay. Give me some Will Ospreay stateside. Do it.
I don't know. Like, I just feel like Triple H necessarily didn't need to make that comment. But I understand his point, and I understand he's like, Ospreay was like, I really don't take this bait, but, and I was just like,
you did.
It just
you took the bait.
Like, I don't know. I just don't know if they did any favors for anybody. Like, I feel like AEW looks like crap this week, and it makes me so sad and so bummed out because I want this to work. I want this to be good. I want good wrestling. I want two promotions that are competitive with each other. But it's like this shot for shot, like.
It's not.
I think it makes them. We
want to hear from you all. What do you all think? Let us know in the comments below. Phone lines are open if you want to know how to call in. It is pinned to the chat. I will throw it back up there somewhere. I put it in. It's the first one.
Yeah.
But it's the first comment in the chat. So if you want to call in, talk about some wrestling, talk about AEW, talk about WWE. Was this the right move for AEW to release the tape? Do you like Will Ospreay's promo? Do you agree with it? Yeah. What do you think about Rock, Cody? When should that happen? But
also, we're going to open real quick because I know we see Renee's face and she was super uncomfortable. Oh, shout out to Tony Schiavone, that poor man, because they cut, like, after they showed the footage, they cut to commentary and it's just Excalibur talking, and Tony, like, just looks like he didn't want to be there. He didn't want that footage to come out. And then, of course, someone on Twitter, Facebook, X put him at Bash the Beach 2000 next to that, and it's the same goddamn face. And it's like, Tony's like, what did you say? He's having, like, Vietnam flashbacks. And it's just like, oh, I just want you to be better. I don't think anything they did. Again, we're not talking about the Okada match, not talking about Mariah May making out with that other Stardom woman, like,
I know that happened.
Like this Tony Storm thing, or
I'm super excited.
You know, a Samoan Joe versus Rhodes. Like, we're not talking about any of that. We're talking about like CM Punk and him making comments about Triple H, and like
exactly.
You know,
the biggest newsmaker.
The FTR promo was like, oh, that just went out of my head. I had it and then I lost it. It was like, oh, I got it. He was just like, oh, the past few Dynamites have been amazing. Like, let's focus on that. And it's like, agreed. They felt like they were going back because there was like ebbs and flows with everything, and they were on an up. And now I just feel like they're so back down.
Yeah, Tony got that PTSD. Yeah, he does. He does.
Something else, but I don't know. I just want I want wrestling to be good, and like this just.
It was a step back and an opportunity.
It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Am I going to watch Dynamite next week? Yes. Am I going to hopefully stay up for the pay-per-view because they're 600 hours long? I miss them being on Saturday and short. Remember those days? Ugh. But I'm just like, I am going to watch it, but I'm just like, I just want more from them and maybe take a higher road and not feel like you have to comment on everyone. That's
just be better. Be the better promotion. Put the way that they've gotten where they are in the last couple of years has been putting on great wrestling matches and being their own company. And what was missed for the last couple of years that WWE couldn't do, and the stars that they let go, use them and they pick them up, but use them correctly. You know, put them. You have so much talent at your disposal. Use it correctly and just book good matches and find good creative storyline. Like JR says this all the time, and he always says he's like you don't need. And this is what's so ironic, and maybe I don't know if he's still how involved he is behind the scenes, but like he always says, you don't need 1 million belts. He's like, that was the big problem. And you talked about this, we talk about this all the time. Like, there's so many belts. It's the Oprah free belt giveaway in AEW or Ring of Honor or wherever. But at the end of the day, if you just have a good feud, a grudge match because two guys or girls don't like each other because X, Y, and Z happen, that's all you need. And they have the talent to do that. And they're just not, for whatever reason. To me, it's, we talk about the sleepy potato booking decision. It's sleepy potato. It's lazy booking. And it's bad creative. So, again, not really sure what they expected to come from this, but it really didn't do much for me. So moving on, again, WrestleMania week and the Raw after WrestleMania is always a fun week because we get to see a lot of different things. So we saw 3 debuts this week on Raw alone, obviously. So Jade Cargill, my personal favorite.
First singles match.
Her first singles match debut.
She did the Rumble, she did the tag, and now this is her first single.
We have Roxanne Perez, the NXT Women's Champion, who was called up after a big win at Stand and Deliver on Saturday morning. It was Saturday morning.
It was like 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it was early. And then we have Ilya Dragunov, the NXT champion, men's champion, came up and challenged Shinsuke Nakamura for he didn't just challenge him. He just had a debut. So all 3 were victorious. All 3, I thought, had really solid showings. Did one in particular stand out over this week? Who had the best in-ring debut of the 3? I throw that out there to our audience. What do you all think? And Nikki, as always, ladies first.
Oh, I do. I think apparently the Jade Cargill Chelsea Green match was cut for time because Cody and Triple H and Rock went like 3 days. Again, it was your quick little squash match. Good. Words are hard. I think Chelsea Green was a perfect opponent for him because she sells like crazy. I think it was good. But like watching her in AEW, like I feel like this was kind of nothing new. I think that's probably great for people that haven't seen her before. Because again, she looks big, she looks good, she looks powerful. For me, out of the 3, I preferred Ilya Dragunov. Again, I talked about him a lot on this podcast. I wanted him to take the belt off Gunther. Again, I think look at him. I hit a fun little match. And again, poor Shinsuke. But and then they announced that they're doing the draft in 2 weeks, the end of the month, the 26th and the whatever, that he's going to be eligible in the draft. So I assume this is going to be his call up to main. And I think this is a great kind of like, if you don't watch NXT, I think it's a great little showcase of like what he brings.
Yeah, I agree. I thought they had the most well-rounded match out of the 3, right?
If you give someone time.
No,
I think it's the better match.
To me, I get he's a good wrestler. He's in the same vein as like a Pete Dunne to me, where they're a good wrestler, but you can tell in the ring they're phenomenal, but I don't know how far he'll go on the main roster. And he's going to be part of the draft, and I know a lot of people are big fans of him because he does great in-ring work. I don't know, and maybe I haven't, and admittedly so, I haven't invested as much in NXT, so maybe I haven't seen any of his vignettes, any of his promos as much. So maybe he'll prove me wrong. I'm not as versed on it, but to me, it seems like he's gonna be one of these guys that gets called up with a lot of hype and probably gets lost in the shuffle because
my hope is we see NXT UK Dragunov, him and Gunther, and an empty stage slapping man meat for 100 days. Yes, please and thank you. Him and NXT, he's kind of a little more wackier. I kind of like, I hope this shift if he comes to main, he comes a little more serious. I necessarily don't want to see him and Walter yet. I feel like that needs to be a belt, and that also should main event something. But I'm excited for his call up. But I would want to see him a little more serious than him hugging people. I believe he was like hugging Baron Corbin, and he got a little wacky. I want to see.
I can see him having a good match with Gunther. I'd be into that.
Again, watch that pandemic match, and all you hear is the echo of them slapping each other.
No, it's fair. I mean, what do you all think? We want to hear from everybody out there. So let us know. Who do you think had the best debut this week, and who are you most excited for? If all three, and the third, and who I thought had a really strong debut myself was Roxanne Perez. Whoops, not AEW. Roxanne Perez. The NXT Women's Champion. She had a great match on Saturday, and this was a big surprise to me. Just for the sheer sake of, you don't usually see, usually it's the person who drops a belt that's going to get called up. We were expecting, and he might still show up tonight on SmackDown, Carmelo Hayes. Roxanne Perez had a great match, great showing, another longer than a squash match, like a solid match with Indy Hartwell. And to me, I said this before, she reminds me very much, and she goes by the moniker Prodigy, but like, she reminds me so much, like, I guess maybe it's the smaller stature of AJ Lee. And I think they have a relationship, but I can see her being in that next vein. And as a heel, she's, from what I've heard and seen, she's been doing great work on NXT, the little bit that I have seen. She had a great, and what I loved about the booking on Raw so much was this match kept her in her heel, state of mind, got her over while furthering along, a main roster storyline with, Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae presumably, breaking up or going on towards that path. So I really liked how she got over here. I'm expecting her to do big things in the near future on the main roster. I'm curious on how long it'll take for her to get up. I don't think, unlike Ilya, I think Ilya will be in the draft. I don't think she's going to be on the main roster in whatever it is, month from now or 2-3 weeks from now. I think she's going to get a longer run in NXT to see, and that really intrigues me to see more what she can do as a top level heel, top level star to carry a promotion before they bring her up. Because right now, we know just as much as anybody, like the women's roster on the main roster is just stacked. I mean, Tiffany Stratton's on the main roster, and like she's just starting out. So like, how many people are you going to bring into that storyline where you don't get people lost in the shuffle? And like our friends in AEW, bringing everybody, and they get lost in the shuffle. Sorry, fun little cheap shot there. But what's everyone thinking? Who did you guys think was the best debut?
I said this to you earlier. Like, I get the appeal of Roxanne. I think Booker T ruined it for me. I think that weird storyline from, I believe, last last spring, when then she like got exhausted and had to drop the belt, and then she couldn't be a contender. The whole big weird thing. If you watch NXT, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know. I would love to be proven wrong, but I think she's super young, and I think in a couple of years she'll, I don't know, kind of move up. But to me, for right now, she does absolutely nothing for me.
Jackson does not agree with you.
Jackson just growled.
Jackson is a big Roxanne fan. There we go. That a boy.
But I don't know. Tell me wrong in the comments down below.
Oh, you're gonna get all the Roxanne supporters are gonna show up and shell out.
Let's disagree. Let's support women's wrestling. Again, I don't see. And honestly, I couldn't. Maybe what's her face? Tatum Paxley. Maybe is like the only person. Like NXT women really don't. There's not one I'm really excited about. The one I was excited about was Tiffy. She was amazing, and still excited about her. Again, I love her. I mean, I'm hoping she's got some big plans for her now that we're post Mania. I hope she does something big tonight. And Tatum Paxley, and like I don't know really NXT women wise who I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see them come to Maine. I think a lot of them are young and new, and I want them to kind of simmer down in NXT for a while.
Yeah, I think what's her name that just lost, Lyra Val. I can't, because I think Taya
Valkyria.
I get like dyslexic with her and Taya.
Well, because I want to say Taya Valkyrie, yeah, and that's not. But I think she's good, but I feel like she needs more cooking still. I think.
Yeah, from what she was good with her match with Roxanne.
But
Again, would she get lost at the main roster?
Yeah, but they brought up Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, and they're not doing jack with them either.
Some of the people that get brought up, you just
It's like the weird. Either you come in.
Jose No Way got brought up. Did anyone think he was coming up from NXT? I'm just saying, like, there's some random people.
Sometimes
that
you
called
just
up
need to bring up a jobber. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. What do you all think? So we got a bunch of people here listening. We appreciate you. If you're new here, hit the old subscribe and like button. The old Samoan spike on the like. Phone lines are open. If you are new here, new to the channel, you are allowed to not only comment, but you can call in if you'd like.
Yeah, come talk to us. Where are my people at?
Yeah. Making new friends.
Making new friends.
It's the open bar concept.
Thank you for being a friend. Golden Girls. Get it.
So with that, I will put that number. Let's see. You can call in below, but it's this number. It's pinned to the chat if anyone wants to take a look. We'll leave that up for a little hot minute here.
And then comment on anything we talked about, something we haven't brought up, because I know there's a ton of stuff. We like to keep it 3 things. So tell us, I don't know what else.
Tell us your 3 things.
What you're drinking, tell me 3 things.
Yeah, we want to hear from all of you. So, that being said.
That's a gross noise, sorry.
We still love you.
We still like you.
All right, we're going to open it up. We got a couple callers on the line. So let's start it off with the one, the only, Steven.
Steven!
Hello.
What are you thinking? What are you drinking? We haven't heard from you. You took a show off. You were regular. We didn't know where you were. We were sending out an APB everywhere. We put Jackson out on it. We gave him a cent. We don't know where he went, but he found something. It wasn't you.
I'm sorry. I have diverse interests.
Clearly. Not unbelievable. So what are you thinking, Steve?
Well, I thought my avatar today would be a good lead-in, and my name that I typed in. I mean, 4 3/4 stars. Come on.
Well, he doesn't give out Dave Meltzer. So Steve's talking about Dave Meltzer's 4.75 stars, not a full 5-star match for The Rock's Cody Rhodes WrestleMania victory. Over Roman Reigns. So, yeah, he doesn't give out 5 stars. I feel like he's giving out like 3 5 stars.
Well, nobody got a 5 star. Everyone's 4 something or lower.
He's completely full of it. Did you hear the thing he tried to push today regarding the Punk footage?
No.
Remind me. I'm pretty sure I read it in one of the 17,000 tweets that I read today.
He said he got a report. I mean, he certainly wasn't there, so it had to be that he got a report that eventually, after the crowd was chanting CM Punk, and it got to the part in the footage where he pushed Jungle Boy, then they started chanting "Fuck CM Punk."
Oh, I heard they were saying "Thank you, Jack."
Thank you, Jack.
Yeah, thank you, Jack. I heard different because another tweet that I had caught on was people saying that they thought they heard people say "Thank you, Jack" afterwards. So there's conflicting reports on that. And the other thing, actually, as you mentioned that, just with it brought up a memory with the Jack Perry thing. If you notice, actually, the T-shirt that the Young Bucks are wearing, they end up Matt's ending up wearing a Scapegoat T-shirt. So clearly, they're leading towards a Jack Perry return.
But Steven, I'm sorry, I didn't read what Meltzer said. So go back. You said that they were chanting CM Punk, and then after that, what?
After the part of the footage where he shoved Perry, he says then the crowd started booing and chanting "Fuck CM Punk." I'm like, no, that didn't happen. Come on.
There was rumors that AEW was asking X to take down fan footage of Dynamite to try to control your narrative.
I could understand that simply. I mean, it's copyrighted material. From that I can understand. And also there was some other place I saw where it was reported that I want to make sure I get this right. Security cam footage.
Yes.
The thing about security cam footage being, I'm totally going to screw it up. Somebody help me.
Sweet.
Oh, but like they wanted people to take down the footage of the CCTV stuff because that's could be property of like Wembley or like the Wembley security people, if that's what you're getting at. But then they also wanted to take down anyone that would shot footage at that Dynamite, not necessarily them taking photos of the footage, but like the reactions they want to take it down.
Yeah, there is that, but there's also something about where it was suggested that Punk could have a lawsuit because they aired it.
Oh.
I mean, that's what I'd worried about. But I'm sure,
because of the laws surrounding security cam footage over in Europe.
Yeah, I could totally see that, and just like in general. But like the one thing that, I mean, Tony Khan, like you're a billionaire, you should have a good legal team that makes sure. Like I would think that he went through so many different like briefs and everything. Like even like as much as like, I mean, I guess there's no audio anyway, but like on how and what they said, and it was pre-taped, everything like that.
There's more footage probably before and after. Also, which we didn't talk about, after they aired the footage, CM Punk put on Instagram the famous photo of George W. in front of that "Mission Accomplished" sign when we beat the Iraq War. So I thought I think he thinks they look like clowns. So like you're just proving his point. So I don't know if maybe if there was legal action to take, maybe he'd take it, but maybe he just thinks they're clowns.
Yeah, there was no reason to air that. It just proved that Punk was pretty much correct. I think there was a couple of minor things where the story was off, but nothing to be concerned about. And there really wasn't. There was no reason other than just personal beef. That's all.
Animosity. Yeah, it was animosity. It was very childish, and it's sad because I think and I feel like maybe I give myself partly a bad rap, but I know Nikki plays into it sometimes. Like we want to see AEW succeed. I am a fan of AEW. Nikki and I got engaged on the Chris Jericho cruise, watching Dynamite, watching MJF get thrown into the pool. Like this company means so much to us.
Hangman won the tag belts and went on an amazing run.
And it's just like we're all, we use this moniker for the show. Like we've both been wrestling fans for over 30 years. We've seen it all. We've seen the WCW days, and don't let history repeat itself. That's why, like, I forget who it was. One of my U.S. history teachers, like 7th or 8th grade, is like, that's why we study history, is to not let it repeat itself. We've studied wrestling history. Tony Khan, you've seen it. Do not let it happen again. Do what's right. Like, you have a great roster. Just book it right. Yeah, trust your people to put on a good show, and move it along. Like, don't focus on everybody else. You're not going to compete with WWE right now. Just worry about being a great company and putting on a great show, and everything will work itself out.
And it didn't even bump up the ratings that much.
Yeah, they got, I think, only like another 100,000 viewers. And what's weird is that, like, this is the week that you get a bump in everything. It's WrestleMania week. Everyone's coming off the high of WrestleMania. Everyone's doing rounds. Like Cody Rhodes, I'm sure if it did Good Morning America and all that other stuff. Like, it gets you so much more publicity for professional wrestling because of that. So just capitalize off of, TBS has a an hour or 2 hour weekly episodic show that does wrestling. Hey, maybe they have something good there, and maybe the casual fan will chime in and see, I don't know, not this week, Darby Allin, but whoever it may be, that appeals to them, and you got a new fan. That's what you should be focusing on. So anyway, I digress. Steve, what else you got for us? Any what are your 3 things? That's one of your 3 things. What other your?
I'm trying to think back to what I missed out on last time. That main event Sunday night, reminded me of some of those prime ECW feature matches that they would do for free on television, I should say. I mean, they didn't do it all the time, but, after 20 minutes, somebody would run out. And then give that guy, and then somebody else would run out, and there'd be a steady stream, and back and forth, and even a lights out reveal of somebody. And I know everybody was wishing it was Austin, but that crowd seemed pretty thrilled to see Taker there.
It worked out. I said this on Monday's show. It worked out perfectly because, like, when you think about it, there's only two people it could have worked out. Would I've loved to see Stone Cold because they had that feud, but so did Undertaker and Rock. So, and the idea of, like, if you have there's only a few select people that can have a quick hit entrance and exit and, like, do their stuff, and it leaves everyone in awe and like on that high. And it's usually only the dark characters, like Undertaker, Sting did that for however long with WCW and the NWO, and, like, this was that opportunity. So, like, for me, like, seeing Stone Cold, Rock, like, everyone knows, like, all over the years, like, if you're talking about legacy of, like, WrestleMania and, like, nostalgia and everything else, perfect, yes. But you're talking about the judge, jury, and execution of WrestleMania, is the Undertaker. So to me, it's like 1 and 1A. You couldn't have gone wrong, and they delivered. There was so much hype, like, of who would show up, and he delivered on it. Like, I was expecting maybe one, like, maybe we'd see Cena or Rock or Cena, or Taker or Austin, but not two, or, and the way things.
Apparently, it was supposed to be Stone Cold, but they couldn't come to terms on pay, so the Undertaker did it. That's why, again, you had that truck that was Austin Cena, like, it was supposed to be both of them, but, like, apparently Stone Cold wanted more money, and Undertaker will, do anything to sniff a WrestleMania. So.
And he just did, and honestly, like, with him narrating the Bray Wyatt documentary, it was a nice play into everything else.
Like you said, it's like, bong, he comes out, stares menacingly, choke slam, bong, he's gone. Like, exactly. You just need that little.
I just wanted a tombstone because it really angered me. And please, we have a bunch of listeners in here. Let me know in the comments. Did it upset you that he didn't tombstone The Rock? And maybe, I don't know, maybe back issues or whatever, he can't do it anymore. But, like, Undertaker, maybe, I guess, maybe, like, early on, like his first debut, maybe his first WrestleMania, probably, like, when DiBiase days, I don't remember him winning that much with a chokeslam. And that's what really upset me, is, like, everyone, to me, it was the tombstone pile driver that was synonymous with the Undertaker. And, like, I wanted to see that just because, like, here's The Rock, who just took an ass whipping the night before, and, like, curb stomp, whatever, you rock bottom through the table. But the one choke slam from the Undertaker is what's going to take the final boss out. Like, that's really upset me.
Undertaker's the final boss. Again, he's going off to film a movie. You don't want to drop him on his neck and head. You can protect yourself more.
Okay. I mean, John Cena did it. John Cena came out and did it this week.
Undertaker's knees.
Ugh, whatever. Mm-hmm. But Steve, what else you got for your last point before we let you go and open up the lines?
I guess to stay on the topic, well, first of all, I didn't think two of those debuts I wouldn't consider them debuts. I think they were just looking for, people to fill in and round out the show. I mean, I don't think they're having proper debuts for.
All right, well, I'm going to call you out on that. Which two did you not think were debuts?
Oh, Ilya and Roxanne.
And you don't think they're debuts because
debut.
Yeah,
it's a main roster debut. That's how you say it, like main roster debuts.
Yeah, well, no, not because of that. I just don't think it was their proper debut, because I think they were just like filling in so they wouldn't have a show that was mostly like the lower level people as far as in-ring action goes. And they just said, "Hey, Ilya and Roxanne, can you do us a solid for a week?" And they'll be brought up, I think, fairly soon, couple of months, maybe. So I don't consider. But if you want to consider those debuts, then I would go with Ilya as the best one. Roxanne's was really just furthering a storyline that didn't involve her. Jade, we know we're going to see this for a while. They're going to be protecting her while she, gains more and more training in the ring, more and more experience in a solo match, in solo matches. So you're going to see a lot of squashes. Also kind of reminds me of what they were doing with Ryback when that character debuted. So if I had to pick between the three, I would go with Ilya. Yeah, the guy who looks like he's been gut shot every time he takes the slightest bump. He just has that grimace of being in extreme pain all the time.
It's a nice shout out to Ryback. You could find a Ryback interview actually on this channel. I interviewed Ryback 15 years ago before WrestleMania 29.
Did you feed him?
Short interview on here. It was fun.
Did you feed him?
I did not feed him. I got away with not feeding Ryback.
Huh. Well.
I know. Well, now you probably, you never know.
Yeah, right.
Now that he's got his own podcast, which seems to be going pretty well for him. So good for him. So, Steve, it was a pleasure as always, but you, sir, are cut off. So phone line's still open. We got one more caller right now on the line. So if anyone else wants to chime in, we get going. We got about a little over an hour before SmackDown. So be really exciting. But he comments a lot. He makes a lot of funny comments. So hopefully we don't have to throw him in the drunk tank. But we bring him in now, ladies and gentlemen. Ed.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Hello.
How's everybody?
What are you drinking? What are you thinking tonight, Ed?
Currently drinking a Cherry Freeze Prime, sponsor of WrestleMania.
Woo!
Whoa.
There we go.
Right?
There we go. Logan Paul is really proud of you right now.
What am I thinking? If we're going with three things here, since I wasn't on last show, can we talk about Samantha Irving's call?
Oh, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because we talked about that last show, and then now I meant to bring a call back to that in the opening segment because I completely
As you do.
Shit the bed on it.
No, but give her praises.
Yeah, no, so I'm sitting there, I'm watching this. I'm already emotional because, Cody finishes the story. I'm yelling, I'm screaming, I'm throwing stuff. I got tears in my eyes, and she's like, and no, and she's like holding back ugly crying. Push me over the edge.
Did you see? Because they posted the reels of her and then I was like, oh god,
yeah,
felt it all over again.
Exactly. I was just about to say that. I felt the same thing all over again. It was just like, oh. And
I love how she came back out and then, she came back out on Monday night. He's like, you got to do it again. Because he knew, knew he and that's where one of those things where you could just tell the relationship. Justin Roberts had that, and I think has that relationship still with the AEW roster. Yeah. That she just loves what she does, and she genuinely appreciates when something good happens for her coworkers.
Oh yeah,
and that was what was super exciting about it. Just her rally the whole night. It was none of that. The first match, Damian Priest winning cashing in Money in the Bank. She was freaking out about that too.
She was freaking out about that. She lost her mind at Sami Zayn.
Mm-hmm.
Which, not for nothing too, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who's been getting back into wrestling, so he's more of a casual viewer. But it was holy shit, this Gunther guy is awesome. So him and I, right before that match, were like, yo, Gunther's gonna pack and smoke Sammy, this is gonna be awesome. And then Sammy walks into KO. And he's just, you go do it, and he's slapping him, and I'm like, nope, I'm all in. Sammy better win tonight now. I'm invested.
Hey, wait. So let me get this right. Just to clarify.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't Sammy talking to his wife and his kid.
No.
His work husband.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was him talking to his work husband.
Yep. 100%.
Kevin Owens that told you that he was going to win.
Yep.
And I need a moment to just say that I am judging.
No, I am not. I
Bailey
am
can judge me,
and you know that.
Bailey can judge me all day. I don't care.
Bailey is judging. The final boss of the Teodoro house is judging you.
Because listen, you follow this stuff long enough, I kind of expect the like the layup here to get you kind of invested with the wife and the kid, and then get you a little more invested with Gable. But like seeing the two, like seeing everybody there, I'm like, oh man, if KO shows up, and right after I said that out loud, him standing there at the entranceway, I'm like, Sammy better be there tomorrow night for him.
Which
And then when he was,
Yeah.
oh.
Fun fact, actually, oh my God, I want to call him Daniel, not Daniel.
Bryan Danielson.
No, so Braun Strowman, the kid that he won the tag team titles with.
Oh, Nicholas.
I don't know why
You forget the name Nicholas.
I remember the important Nicholases.
How dare you?
Yeah, I really. Yeah,
Who are you to doubt former WWE
that
Tag
ever
Team
beat
Champion
Nicholas.
Nicholas?
Well, I never met him. So anyway, so
Okay.
supposedly he's like he's getting up to the age where he's like of wrestling age. I think he's like 17 now. It was so long ago. So, but anyway,
He's wrestling on the Indies now.
Yeah, he probably will be. He'll be the next North American NXT North American champion.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it.
Actually, no, I don't want to say that. He won't be the next NXT. He will be the next Ring of Honors trio, the youngest champion. Trios.
He's the AEW Continental Crunch Wrap Champion.
Yes.
Don't get me started on ROH.
The United 24/7
Don't get me started on ROH.
Universal
I have friends that work there.
How our boy lost, and now he's tag teaming with him at Dynasty.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Eddie Kingston lost the ROH championship to Mark Briscoe, and now they're tag teaming with Adam Copeland against the House of Black next Sunday at Dynasty.
Yes, I saw that because then what's his name? Oh my God,
They're doing
Stokely.
Eddie dirty. They're doing Eddie dirty.
Listen,
Like,
Nikki, you're missing the point here.
oh,
AEW good, Fed bad.
But my Eddie.
Well,
No, I totally agree with you.
Eddie, listen, he had 3 belts at once.
For
Whatever that means.
This whole combination
Exactly,
of Eddie
whatever that
Kingston,
means.
everyone shit on for so long, and the fans. I'm an Eddie crybaby now. I don't know.
You are an
Probably.
absolute Eddie Pro.
I'm right there with you.
Oh, our next show, I'm gonna wear one of my Eddie shirts.
Yeah.
But
Which
then,
of the
like,
17,000
I
Eddie
don't know.
Kingston
But
t-shirts are
he,
you
and
gonna
then
wear?
like he has his 3 belts. He has this great moment, and then Okada, and then Mark Briscoe. And it's just like, ugh.
Exactly.
Not to like derail this.
We're having
But
a
this is
conversation about Eddie right now.
well, I don't know, but you mentioned Okada because of Eddie. Can we talk about Okada's finisher, the short arm clothesline?
Can we talk about Sting's finisher, the slop drop? Wait,
Yeah, there's not.
shout out to Henry O'Godwin.
Yeah, no, it's just like his.
Yeah,
Sting? Like
Yeah,
Sting's
what, that's the stinger. No, the stinger splash in the corner. The Scorpion Death Drop.
no, it's a reverse DDT.
exactly. Henry Godwin was doing that in like 1994.
Actually, you know who did it? You could argue well, it's not the same move, but slightly different but better version. Big Show did like the final cut where he'd come
Oh,
over
I forgot
the top
about that.
with the elbow, and that actually looked more impactful because
big dude.
Big Show's just Big Show, you know. So I digress.
But justice for Eddie Kingston.
Agreed. I just wish AEW had more consistent booking, but I do
He
want to
had
get
3
to.
belts. Justice for him. He has 3 belts. Get
Yeah,
the
but none
hell
of them. But Nick, none of them meant anything.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
Except for maybe the ROH Championship.
See, Steven
guess.
agrees with me. He needs 3 belts. He needs them. He needs them. Who doesn't need 3 belts?
I don't know, man. I just keep going back to the him versus Punk and like that opening where he just spinning back fists his head off. And then like his reaction where he was just laughing his ass off. I'm like, no, that's the guy I want. That's the guy I need. Give me that guy every time.
We're calling him Eddie 3 belts.
No, because he has 1 belt. And
Well,
he's
not
got-
anymore. Now he's
When's
Eddie No
the
belts.
next New Japan
Eddie
Strong.
No Belts. No,
But Eddie
yeah,
No
he's
belts
got
was his
the-
whole career.
Yeah, he's got the New Japan Strong Open Weight CM Punk Memorial Lethal Lottery Championship, right?
Basically.
There's a I'm waiting for a belt to be named after me.
I'm pretty sure there's a belt named after me currently. Like,
It's coming.
I just haven't seen it yet. I don't really watch. I'm sorry.
Ugh.
All right.
Intercontinental Ed Championship.
I love that for me. Kidding me?
I love that for you too.
Right? Number.
NCW. We'll call it NCW.
I like that. Not to pivot, but number 2. Can we talk about my boy JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Enthusiast? The spooky Roman himself, the bisexual Undertaker, Damian Priest.
They tweeted about that. He's like, that restarted it, and I don't know why people do that.
Him on the throne.
Yeah.
He took the picture.
Oh my God, Chef's Cast
kills me. I'm happy.
All right, so you want to talk about? So I want to throw this out there. Who is? Oh, well, I guess it's Jay. Well, this stemming from Monday night. Jey Uso is going to be his first challenger.
Yeah.
I honestly would not be shocked if Jey Uso wins the belt.
I don't see them taking it off of Priest that quick.
Agreed.
Tell me, the next pay-per-view is what? Like
May 4th?
May 4th. Okay.
Oh.
Tell me that between May and Money in the Bank, which is June, right?
Yes.
The Backlash and Money in the Bank is usually June.
I thought that.
Googling it.
Well, the biggest party of the summer's in July.
Oh no, SummerSlam's August, and I thought, where's Clash of the Castle? Oh, I said it right.
Saturday, July 6th. Okay, so Money in the Bank's July 6th.
Okay.
So, hear me out. Between now and Money in the Bank, Jay wins the belt for a return feud at SummerSlam with Jimmy over the title.
Well, after what Meltzer rated it, I don't know if we're going to see that. I think I'm the only person in the world that liked that match, but...
I don't think fine. I don't know why the internet was so mad about it, but I'm also the idiot apparently that loved what was the I was about to call him Eli Drake. What was the LA Knight Bray match? The Mountain Dew explosion match or whatever?
Yeah.
That
the glow in the dark match.
Yeah. I thought that was awesome. But I'm the idiot that loves I love me some sports entertainment.
It wasn't I think
Listen, I'm not watching a lot of the WWE stuff for like high level work rate, right?
Right.
Like that's not really what I'm tuning in for. Now, don't get me wrong, I love me some work rate. But like that's kind of secondary to me more times than not. Mm-hmm. Give me the gimmicks, give me the production, give me the over the top characters.
Yep.
Give me those guys to tell that story, and if you throw in some awesome work rate, hey, fantastic.
That's
so
fair.
For everything that match was doing, I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. And say the same thing with the Usos. I thought it was fine. I don't get what the hate was. Was it like, did it blow me away? Was it a 7-star Tokyo Dome match? No.
But there's so much story, and like how you're wrestling that you're wrestling yourself.
Yes.
It's also like they have the same moveset. What do you think was going to happen? It was going to be a super kick party.
I was kind of hoping that they would change. If one of them needs it, well, probably Jay just needs to change. Like, I'm sorry, I don't. Even when Superfly did it, didn't really consider it a finishing move anymore. Like when, like in the early '90s, I guess, yeah, that was a finisher because off the top rope, big deal. Like, but now everyone. First off, Kevin Owens, like a million people do a senton bomb now, which was Jeff Hardy's finisher. Now it's like you're desensitized by it because everyone does it. Just like a acai moonsaw, you know. It's so like
everyone does the house show dive. Everybody's doing an os cutter now.
Yeah. So like when you tell me, oh my God, you're gonna splash somebody, unless the only person that can get away with a splash is Bronson Reed. He's the only person that makes sense. Yeah, like he should do that all the time because he's damn near 400 pounds, and if I get splashed from him off the top rope, I'm like, shit, that fucking hurt.
Yeah.
Like, but like everyone else, like I don't care. Like unless you're going up and like that's why I like the frog splash.
But everybody's doing that too.
Well, yeah, but some people do it. Like Logan Paul is better. Like is better than most. Like he does more like the RVD sprawled out. You know.
I mean, but I was gonna say everybody's doing one of these, and then everybody's throwing a frog splash now. Like,
yeah,
everybody. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've done one on TV at this point. But I digress.
All right,
speaking of os cutters. Well, I was speaking of os cutters too.
Oh, did you get pointed to? Sorry.
He mentioned Damian Priest and you went on a whole tangent.
I know.
I just wanted to shout out Damian Priest. That was exciting for me. I didn't expect him to cash in and win like that, and the fact that he did, I was like, you know what, I buy that, especially with the whole segment, like the storytelling in that. The fact that Drew McIntyre was just so obsessed with not only beating Seth Rollins, but shoving it in Punk's face, and that was his downfall. Oh, and he got the moment. Oh, checks off so many boxes.
Yeah.
So good. I did want to shout out. I forget what his name is now, but former DPW champion Jay Malachi out in NXT. He beat the guys from OTM. He beat Scripps.
Wait, so what's he going by now in NXT? I'm blanking now.
Oh, it's like Javon something.
I know there.
Now I gotta Google this. Sorry.
Again, my NXT watching is very slim these days. I know OTM and I know it's Scripps and the other two guys. I don't know who. I honestly have not watched Stand and Deliver. Or Stand and Deliver, right?
Honestly, in terms of Stand and Deliver. Say again?
No, I was just saying that they had Stand and Deliver and then they had NXT last night. I want to say that he was on that. I just don't remember what his WWE name is now. It's like Javon something or other.
Yeah, no. So according to this, he's going. Oh, I just had it open, and then I lost it. It was Evans. I think they're going. His last name's
Javon Evans. That sounds right.
Yeah, Javon Evans. He's going by.
Yeah, the match isn't long. I'd say give it a go. It's everything you need to know about him. Kid's 19 years old and flies all over the place. It looks like he's been doing it for years.
Is he the one with the springboard like Cody Cutter?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Now I'm remembering.
19. What a baby.
Yeah, okay. Now okay. So only seen a couple highlights of him so far, but yeah, basically he does a Cody Cutter that's like really
smooth.
It's smooth, and he arcs super high on it.
More of an arc down?
Like it's
springs.
And to the point where like I think the person taking the move has to like wait and then like play like center field and like go to him. Like,
it looks a little goofy, but when it's done right, it looks great. I mean that was the guy's finish when he was on the Indies. It was the mallet cutter. It worked. But now he's doing some twisting splash thing or something or other. I don't know. The kid's really good. If like you want that fun like video game indie match that like AEW's putting on, kid does it. The kid does it fantastically.
That makes sense. Honestly, like I think. See, here's what I worry about, and you've kind of already made the case for me, and I'm like, oh God, I hope this is not the case. But like, certain moves are protected, and not necessarily finishers, And that's what really sucks. Is like he does that move really well, and I hate the fact that like, and this is just he's a victim of circumstance with this. Because let's just say he gets called up tomorrow to the main roster. Cody Rhodes does that same move as like a signature, you know what I mean, non-finisher, and that's what I hate about like certain moves. Is like they get like pigeonholed if a main top guy does it as like a just part of their arsenal. Because like that always threw me off. It's like why does like a DDT be a finisher for one guy, but it's not a finisher for another, and like. The same other person uses it 4 times in a match
and doesn't finish it. Yeah. So I agree with you in that sense, but I'm also, we've been talking a lot about how, well, WWE does this and WWE does that. We're in a brand new era. I don't know what WWE does anymore.
True.
I have no idea. Because the guy that's calling the shots now, listen, I had posted in chat earlier. I think the biggest surprise to me from night 2 of WrestleMania, wasn't all the surprises we got. And it wasn't, Cody finishing the story. All that. The biggest surprise to me was Michael Cole's call of "I love professional wrestling."
Yes.
I got chill. I was yelling at my TV when he said that. I lost my mind. I was like, "What?"
There you go, Ed.
Exactly.
I'm throwing it up for you. He put it in the chat and he said it out loud.
I cried. I think once the 1, 2, 3 and Cody won, I think I cried for like the next hour and a half.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, 100%. But like when wrestling's done right, it's the best.
Mm-hmm.
My third thing though, I did want to bring up just AEW in general because it's just they look like a bunch of clowns at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys already talked about the footage. I agree with you guys. And especially too, if somebody's like, well, what are you going to do about it? And, you know, the guy went to the manager and went, handle this, be a boss. And he didn't. And he's like, all right, well, I'm going to handle this then. Somebody's telling me to go, somebody's asking me what I'm going to do about it. I'm going to go do something about it.
Yeah.
Long and short of it, and it makes the entire company look bad.
Well, the thing is, it's different. Like, I thought, like, it's just a different era of like, we're in like a kind of like a PG culture. like you like some of the, and I think that like wrestling and again, some of the other things that are coming out now are awful, but wrestling in a lot of ways is still slow to get up to the uptake of like a corporate environment. Even WWE, like it's that whole locker room mentality of like of everything, and I feel like
I feel like again, it's like everyone's like, oh, if you did that in an office, you'd be fired. He got fired.
Yeah,
like,
he A got fired, and B, that's not an office setting. So
but there's also like an element. I guess what I was trying to get at is like there's also an element of like a self-policing environment that a team like there's it's not all right. It's not 100% a corporate entity. It is, but it is, you know, that you're looking at or like a theater, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But it's also, you know, not like it's not fully a team element, and like it's a locker room. It's a whole organization. It's like you're looking at even the Young Bucks as EVPs are looked at like an Aaron Rodgers or whoever. I'm using the Jets fan, but like whoever's in that locker room because they're still in the locker room. They're still a performer in that locker room. So it creates like a whole different dynamic. Like that's what's so crazy about like professional wrestling in general. Like it's such a mixture, like sports entertainment, like sports entertainment, everything else, and like even like when we watch Dark Side of the Ring, like some of the crap that happened, like when you talk about like Abdullah the Butcher and like all that other stuff, like what's agreed upon before the ring and what blurs the lines, because there's so much. It's such professional wrestling is such a gray area.
It's its own thing. And I was going to say too that. Sorry, go ahead.
No. It's just that's basically what it's such a gray area of like it's not a corporate environment, but it's going in that, and it's $1 billion industry in that area, but it's also not like a professional, 100% a professional sport. But these guys that are in the locker room, not everyone is going to be like a CM Punk, but again, not everyone's like I don't want to use Aaron Rodgers, but like a Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady. Right, like that sees the big picture of everything.
Right,
you have the people that go to work every day and just do their job. So
right,
yeah, it's such a gray area industry.
I mean, I also want to say too that it's like, okay, if you're mad at Punk for what happened, then keep that same energy, right? Then you should have the same reaction to everything that Chris Jericho's ever done backstage. You should have the same reaction to DDP getting into fights, to Booker T getting into fights, Kevin Nash getting into fights. You know, hate Andre the Giant then for shooting on guys in the ring. Like, keep the same energy. Like, it's a very different thing. Like, and then to Nick, your credit, are people going to get mad at like hockey players for getting into fights? Like, it wasn't this past Devils game, but it was a couple Devils games ago when like our starting line just showed up and just started throwing down.
It's like every game against the Rangers.
Yeah,
the Rangers
exactly.
fighting.
So it's like you hate all those guys too.
To breathe back, Devils like 5 years ago. Because, you know, the Devils have been such dog shit for the last 5 years. But it was one of the games, and literally, Devils-Rangers is always a big rivalry. Spoiler alert to all of our listeners here. We're from New Jersey. We're Devils fans. But anyway, we go in, and literally they put out their fourth line, which is basically your checking line, your fighting line, to start the game. So, like, it was just basically like, shit's about to go down. And they just brawled for the whole beginning of the game. Like but to your point, Ed, like that's actually a better example than I could have given on like football is hockey. Yeah, like these guys get 5-minute majors for punching each other in the face.
Yeah, so it's like, do you fire all those guys?
No,
like you kind of get what I'm saying here. It's like just keep the same energy. The people that are getting mad at Punk that he's some monster. It's like this kind of crap happens all the time. I was seeing people tweet or X or whatever the hell they're calling it now. But it's like, you know, this happens at every indie show backstage. It's like, so do you just hate professional wrestling then? What kills me is you guys were saying before, right? And I agree with you. I want AEW to succeed. The more people, or I should say, the more places for people to work is better for the entire industry. What's driving me nuts, or maybe not driving me nuts, but the interesting thing is that AEW slotted itself in at a time when WWE was dog shit, right? That there was only maybe like one or two, for every like 5 things that were bad, WWE was doing maybe like 1 or 2 things that were good. And one of those things was probably Bray Wyatt. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
We've got a brand new era. WWE ain't bad anymore.
Yep. I agree.
So it's one of those things now. What does AEW have? They've got work rate, but they're not doing anything with those guys.
Yep. Tell me how Shibata takes a pin from Lee Moriarty. I was losing my bananas.
Tell me how Billy Gunn beats Jay White.
Oh, they fucked Jay White so hard.
Because he's daddy ass.
Tell me how Shane Taylor and everybody else he's working with loses to Jericho.
Oh yeah, I hate Jericho and Hook. Apparently Hook wants to come to NXT and NXT wants Hook.
That is a great call. Can I just talk about how we're gonna talk about this because this came out today. So apparently
I did see that.
And I love it because as it's more of a, I'm telling you right now, Ospreay may have gone to AEW, but if Hook comes to WWE, they're gonna make him a megastar. He's gonna be.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just imagine the treatment they again. And I know she hasn't done anything yet, but the way they're protecting her, she's going to be a star. Jade Cargill's going to be a star. They will do the same with Hook. He's got, first off, his name is Hook, right? That's his full first name is Hook, or no?
No,
or he just goes in it.
No, that's his ring name. He has like a legit.
But I'm sorry, I thought his name was Hook. But
no, Taz named him Hook. That's what it is.
He should have named him Hook.
No, hold on.
But I digress.
But that name, again, the legacy, regardless.
Tyler,
whatever. But I was hoping that his name was Hook so they wouldn't rebrand him, with the hopes that he wouldn't rebrand because I didn't know his real name. But shut up. Stop laughing. I will mute you. Take her out of the chat for a minute. We're going to take her off.
I'm listening. I'm here. I'm still here.
You need to go. Keep going. Keep going. Keep walking. So anyway. But
I agree with you. If
we're so rudely interrupted by this Hook discussion about whether his real name is Hook.
It's the Hook signal in the sky. No, but I agree with you because it's one of those things that was I super critical about Jade Cargill? Yeah. Do I still think that she can't wrestle? To a point, but it's not her fault. And it's one of those two. I think she should have maybe shouldn't 100%. But would she has she gotten better since she was in AEW and then got to learn in NXT? 100%. Now, can you imagine if Hook got to go to hip toss class for a little while and actually learn how to do everything?
I don't think Hook gives it a terrible hip toss. I'm joking and calling just an NXT hip toss class, right? I mean, honestly though, him learning from all those guys down in NXT, you polish him up for about a year. Holy crap, man! That kid's gonna be awesome. Yeah, the fact that I think the way that AEW has built him up has set it they've actually done really well relatively with him. He's one of the organic people. And I said this a couple weeks ago. I think Hook is more of a pillar than Jungle Boy.
Yep.
I like more than Jungle Boy and Sammy Guevara. I think Hook is more of a pillar.
Don't even get me started on Sammy.
And we're gonna welcome. I'll let her back in. She's out of timeout and back in the show.
I'm out of the drunk tank, I guess.
I'll put her in the drunk tank. Bailey put her in the drunk tank.
That girl judges me every day of my life for the past 8 years. I love Hook. I love his music. Whatever that guy is, the rapper.
Action Bronson.
Yeah, and he comes out and he walked around the ring, came in and had his back to his opponents. I feel like he came out so hot. I necessarily don't love him talking.
No, he's awful.
I don't honestly think he eventually would be a bad talker. I just think it was too soon for him to talk. If that makes sense.
He sounds like he's doing dip.
I have the same thing about Solo Sikoa. Solo should not be talking. You're the big menacing brute guy. Don't talk.
No, he should talk like Mike Tyson. So I told you this. It would be brilliant, and he would look great. And Hook, I'm going to reiterate this, sounds when he talks, like he puts his chin out like he's got a big tin of dip in the front there. Man, you're tough. And like, it's like, bro, just like talk normal.
It's just chips.
That maybe, again, with NXT, you have like a promo class. I don't know if anyone in AEW is teaching. Like, Moxley should fucking teach one. Like, Moxley's, I can listen to Moxley and Eddie Kingston.
Eddie
he can read me the phone book.
I mean, I love me some old school Moxley, but I agreed.
Like, I don't know if they're teaching these younger kids, like,
they're not
how to talk. And honestly, like, Taz is not the best. He's amazing on commentary, but I'm thinking like old, like, I don't know.
Taz worked because he was believable, even though like Taz was like 3'12". I believe that he could choke out anybody. Like ECW Taz with the towel and him just staring down a camera and just like, beat me if you can, survive if I let you. Like, yeah, I believe it. And because then he walked to the ring and just suplex Bam Bam Bigelow over his head and choke the dude out.
Yeah,
I believed it. That's the problem, though. I don't really believe. Like, to your credit, Nikki, you were just saying that. Like, are they teaching anybody over there? No.
Yeah.
And you can see it with Jade Cargill. She's only so good, and she's gotten leaps and bounds better, but she's still green.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, then why have Ring of Honor? Isn't that what Ring of Honor's for?
I don't know what Ring of Honor's for.
It's not their feeder system.
It's another sandbox for Tony Khan. It is. But it feels like another sandbox for Tony Khan to play with his action figures.
Like, what are you doing with Athena?
What are you doing with anybody? What are you doing? You have Dalton
She's
Castle.
the women's champion who's defended against someone this weekend that she's probably...
I'm not just saying this because I'm not just saying this because he's a buddy of mine, but like, push Shane Taylor for the love of God.
Yeah.
The guy's massive. He hits like a truck.
Yeah, it's just like, and then getting like, again, I don't like them being jobbed out or doing stuff with Jericho, but like also
it's awful.
Lee Moriarty, I got nothing against Lee, but you shouldn't be pinning Shibata. I'm sorry.
But what are they doing with Shibata?
The only thing I remember of Lee Moriarty is that he's part of the Nightmare Factory, right? Isn't he? Wasn't he?
Maybe.
That's 100 years ago.
Yeah, but like that's the only thing I remember about him because he hasn't done it.
He was a part of the firm. You guys remember that?
He was that was with QT.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't it?
No, the firm was Stokely's group for
that went with MJF.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was yeah.
Where's Ricky and Big Bill?
Back in the toy box because Tony Khan's not playing with them.
For now, until he creates the next title for them to get.
Ricky's gonna go to
Ricky. You know where Ricky was? He was at WrestleMania, celebrating Cody Rhodes.
You damn right.
The rest of us.
Ricky's going to WWE as soon as he fucking can.
He's another guy.
That might as well see that picture's Triple H. It might as well have been Ricky Starks.
Ricky Starks might as well have come out with Cody Rhodes at this point. Like, honestly, send Starks over to NXT for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Let him go there.
He'll
show up.
Fantastic. He'll be the NXT champion. In 6 months, he'll be the NXT champion, and we'll be talking about him coming up to Maine. Actually, probably with bigger hype. I'd argue right now than Carmelo Hayes.
Versus Cody?
Who versus Cody?
Oh, Ricky as a heel coming in and going up against Cody.
I'm here for it. Yeah, maybe not to this current run with the belt or anything, but like,
I think
that at some point.
Not tomorrow, but I think I would love to see them have a program together.
Yeah, there's history there.
Yeah, I think that's why Triple H and Shawn Michaels work so well. And what they said, like, you kind of hit your friends a little harder and want to push them a little better. I think that'd be so fun.
Agreed. I'm very excited for this new era because I know you've got Triple H and Shawn Michaels running everything. There's going to be some real continuity now. Like, I've been huge on Karrion Kross forever, but like, yeah. So it's one of those things that it's like, all right, whatever. They had the 6-man tag and with what's his name, Bub Ure is the referee, right? Came out like Bolliker of the year with the thumbs up. Like, it's awful. That match was fine. And it went the way it was, everybody figured it was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
But, Tuesday, it was NXT was Tuesday? Yeah.
Yeah, this week's Tuesday they showed up.
I think we need to rebrand the whole Final Testament.
Well, that's what...
And we're going to start, Ed, to your point, we're going to start with, are you down with AOP?
Yeah, you know me.
And then Karrion Kross will make it.
But that was the point I was making, right? That these guys have kind of just like done a lot of nothing, but both teams did a whole lot of nothing through this program.
Mhm.
And then they show up in NXT and they kill everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm immediately drawn in. I'm like, oh, that's the guy I want.
Yeah, maybe
This is what they should have been the whole time.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see them refresh themselves, even though like they just kind of started. Let's hit the reset button on them, give them a little run in NXT, and set them right back up to the main roster with that momentum. And with the guys in charge, that's what's going to happen.
I feel like maybe like a 3 to 6 months in NXT, I think would really, because again, AOP was, and again, I'm wearing my, like, I remember like Revival, DIY, AOP,
Yes.
those fucking matches.
So good.
Why are we not having those matches?
I mean, and that's the thing, right? I'm not necessarily watching WWE for the work rate, but when they want to, they can. And the reason that they don't go out and put on these like crazy, 6-star Tokyo Dome bangers is because they work 3 times as their schedule is 3 times as much as AEW or TNA or anywhere else, right?
Yeah,
They're running house shows. So yeah, so it's one of those less is more. And the NXT matches they were able to get away with a little more because again they're not touring as much. But it's one of those they have the talent, and we're eventually going to get those like banger NXT matches on TV now.
No, that's what we're hoping. So Ed,
me,
any final words before we let you go here?
Listen,
Final
guys.
Testament, maybe.
Ooh, sound like that. Listen, I could talk all day about this stuff, but I'll leave you guys with this. Joey Styles is the GOAT.
Oh, get the fuck off! Go.
Yeah,
bye.
He's gone.
Not in my house,
that's exactly
get out of here.
Exactly how. And you know what? We're removing him from all the stuff.
Oh, Ed, I thought we were
I don't know if he
friends. I'm gonna text.
I'm still learning this system, so I don't know if kick or ban what the difference is. So I don't want to ban you. That's the only reason you're not banned, Ed. With that comment.
Joey Styles, get the fuck out of my face.
Because I don't know enough about the system. You're lucky.
And I love you, but no.
So Steven was talking about AEW when Ed was talking about he doesn't want to be a boss, he wants to be a friend and give hugs. Yeah.
Again, he looks like I would love to hug him. It looks like he gives the most
actually
amazing
would enjoy
hugs.
A very drug-fueled hug.
Allegedly.
Like, who doesn't?
Allegedly, kids.
Those are the softest and most warming hugs. What do you all think about hugs? We got a lot of people in here. What are you all thinking? Chime in, join in the conversation. We've got a few more minutes. We'll keep the lines open if anyone wants to call in. But as we wrap up before...
Are you excited about SmackDown? Again, I think nowadays, or should be, like the SmackDown after Mania should be exciting. Like, who do you think is going to show up, debut, reappear? I'm hoping to be Strats has something fun to do. What's some predictions for SmackDown?
So for tonight, I have a couple of things. So at least what I read. But look ahead. Bayley's first appearance since her win.
Yes, we got to see the champ.
So what are we expecting Bayley to do tonight? Who's her next challenger? Is it another rematch with EO?
I don't know. Are we done? Like, Damage Control lost night 2. Like, night 1.
Night 1 and night 2. Yeah, but they still have the tag belts. So
what does the women's tag belts mean? Which makes me very sad. But like, again, Damage Control also across the board. I don't necessarily want to see Bayley do a rematch with EO at Backlash. It was a fun match. I would like to see Bayley kind of move on, and I hope because that was the problem with Backlash, and it was a WrestleMania Backlash, and you really just rehashed all the feuds.
But who's the next logical opponent for her? Like, I don't really know.
Well, again, maybe because the draft is coming, maybe we don't know yet. But like, is it too early for Tiffy? Maybe. Like, do you give it to Bianca Naomi? Maybe her and Naomi have a quick little program that's just for.
But like, Naomi hasn't won shit.
I know.
She won this match, and she didn't even get the pin.
Has
she got a pinfall victory since she's actually been like returned?
Or do you do something crazy and have like Liv more? Well, I guess maybe Liv Morgan's more. Shout out to
Liv and Rhea. I think that was already decided. So That's
Charlotte
Hulk. Shout out to our one of our regulars, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, like I don't know.
His
like,
girl, Liv Morgan. I think she's challenging Rhea.
Charlotte was backstage at Mania. Obviously, she was with Andrade, and there's a really cute Insta reels of her and Charlotte hugging. So Charlotte's been backstage.
Steven wrote an Asuka. Asuka for that's the thing. But Asuka's half. She's one half of the women's tag champions. So like, what makes Asuka, in theory, any better than Kairi? Any more of a viable challenger than Kairi Sane?
Well, I would say that Asuka actually was champion, even though they did her dirty every step of the way.
Well, yeah, no, she was a former champion.
But it's just like, I don't know. Like, I just think it's either, if you're going to do, would it be Dakota then? I think it'd be Dakota or Io. I don't think it'd be Asuka or Kairi.
That might be.
Then maybe it is Dakota for Backlash.
That's probably, yeah.
I don't remember, but Dakota took the pin in that three-way match, or six-woman tag, three-woman tag. I don't know, word space.
But it all depends. Like who's the leader of that group? That plays a factor.
Or just someone, I don't know, steps up.
So I don't know. I'm curious to see. What do you all think? Who's the next challenger for Bayley for the SmackDown?
I don't know, because I think it's going to be a quick pro. I don't know, like, because you got Backlash, which I think they have a lot to do to top Backlash last year, because I think Rhea Selena looked like a star, and they've done nothing with her since. And then the crazy, what made Damian Priest, springboard him was that match with Bad Bunny, and then you had that's the impetus to bringing back the LWO.
Well, it's such a weird time because you have Backlash, which is always the first pay-per-view after WrestleMania. Like it's all the feuds that don't get blown off at WrestleMania, or they want to extend one match out.
But that's why it's like, again, Triple H is taking the WrestleMania Backlash out. It's just Backlash, but it's hard to be the first pay-per-view after Mania. And that's why I sort of wish maybe they didn't do a main pay-per-view and let it breathe a little bit. And then go straight into Money in the Bank, and then boom, SummerSlam. Or do SummerSlam maybe late May or the first weekend of July, or first weekend of June.
Well, the problem with this is that Money in the Bank, in theory, when you look at Money in the Bank, it's the coronation of the future champion, in theory, right? Like, how many people, 90% of the people who win Money in the Bank end up being champion? Yeah, it's probably 95%. There's only been 2 people who've not cashed in and won.
Okay, there's more. It's Corbin. Oh, my voice. Hello, puberty.
Corbin Sandow, right?
Corbin Sandow. No, there's got to be another one. It's more than just the 2 of them. Chat, Ed, someone. There's more than that.
Yeah, someone stat check us on this, but
and women-wise, haven't they been 100% at this point? Yes.
No, but more often than not, and I think I'm not really going out on a limb here, but 80% at least of the winners of Money in the Bank end up winning the belt for at least one period of time.
Justice for Otis.
Oh, yeah, there's your guy. I didn't really...
Yeah, but then he gave it to The Miz, and The Miz cashed in, though. I don't know if that counts or not.
That's debatable. I guess it's a successful cash-in, but whatever. Regardless, it's the coronation of the next champion. So, it's such a... I guess the point that I'm trying to get at is that it's such a weird time because you finish WrestleMania season, which is the culmination of a lot of storylines, and then you go into... You have Backlash, which is either a rehash of a WrestleMania match that didn't get the blow off, or some start of some new feud. And then you get into Money in the Bank, which is, again, potentially a transition to a new world heavyweight or WWE champion. So there's such a small amount of time in between that. That's why even to the extent of I don't know that, and I said this earlier on the show, I don't think that Damian Priest may make it to Money in the Bank as champion. I could totally see Jey Uso dethroning him. Because I would argue Jey Uso is more over than Damian Priest is. And that him carrying the belt into into SummerSlam, which is the second most popular WWE event, second to third, you could argue Royal Rumble right there, right? I think SummerSlam is ahead of Survivor Series, so it's at least the second to third most popular WWE.
Survivor Series, unfortunately, is the end of it.
Right. So you can have all these people carrying it into big pay-per-views and have that blow off storyline that it's the next level of Jimmy and Jay. Is that now there's a title? We talked about it. We were hoping it may have been the Intercon, not necessarily the Intercon, but like a mid-card title because we all love Gunther. But like it could have been that, and now the World Heavyweight Championship with Damian Priest for the next 2 months. I'm sorry, I don't know what he's going to interest me in, or the Judgment Day is going to interest me in, other than maybe SummerSlam being him and Finn Balor. That's the only thing that I could see coming up with him being champion going into SummerSlam.
No, I'm going to disagree with you. I think they made a big deal of Damian Priest becoming champion. Again, he's the second Puerto Rican champion since Pedro Morales. Shout out to my 4th grade teacher. But I think they're going to have him. I think he'll hold it to SummerSlam, to be perfectly honest. I don't think it's going to be a very long reign, but it's going to be a backlash thing. I don't necessarily think Jake would take it off him. I think it's got to transition back to Drew. I think because he needs to hold that belt going whenever Punk comes back, or does Punk win it from Damian Priest and then goes into program with Drew? I think Drew takes it off Priest again, and that would lead into maybe the Mania feud with Punk. I don't know.
Potentially, I don't know. There's a lot.
I think he's gonna hold it longer than you think he is.
I just don't think.
Wrong down below. But I think Damian's going to hold it. Because, again, how beautiful was that shot with the whole Judgment Day on top? Because Mommy's always on top. You have Mommy and you have Damian Priest holding up those belts. And, again, the shot of them all in the ring, Mommy has a belt, he has a belt, and little R-Truth, like, I'm on my belt too. I don't know. I think he's not dropping it at Backlash.
I don't think it's a Backlash, but I don't think he's making it to SummerSlam with the belt. I really don't. If he makes it, what I will say this right now on April 12th. Right now on April 12th, I will say I think if Damian Priest is the champion at SummerSlam, his challenger at SummerSlam is Finn Balor. If it's not Finn Balor, he is not the champion.
I think you're crazy. But if you're saying he's not going to make, do you think that whoever wins Money in the Bank, I'm hoping LA Knight, that LA Knight will cash in on Priest that night? Because we had.
No, I don't think LA Knight's doing
Priest,
that. No.
Maybe not LA Knight, but you had Damian Priest hold the belt, the Money in the Bank, the briefcase for so long. Do you think the pivot then would maybe whoever wins the men's Money in the Bank would cash in quickly or attempt to cash in quickly?
No, I actually think LA Knight might be the person to dethrone Priest, but I don't think he's going to do it with Money in the Bank. I think he's just going to have a match. Like, I could see him having the match at, like, but like having some sort of match, like, to win the belt and be the Raw World Heavyweight Champion. I really think that they're going to, because at this point, he's still the hottest mid-card talent. It's arguable. Him and Gunther probably, not to be a main eventer, not competed or challenged for a main event title. It's him and Gunther. And I think that they're going to wait. And I could see a red-hot mid-card talent carrying the belt and then putting it on Raw. And I could see LA Knight being the World Heavyweight Champion on Raw more so than.
No, I think in the draft, Cody's going to be on Raw, and then Priest or whoever has that belt will be on SmackDown. You're not taking Cody off Raw.
Well, we'll see. Well,
tell us what you think.
Yeah, let us know. We got a lot of great.
Tell me I'm right. Tell Nikki's wrong, as per usual.
But this has been a fun episode. Again, every week we come in and every week you all surprise us. Brand new listeners, brand new commenters, everything else. So if you're new here, please be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. We want to have you back. We're here every Friday at 6 p.m. If you can't read it in the background because it's covered up by Cody Rhodes getting his hand raised or a great photo of The Rock wearing the WWE title. Whatever you like, we aim to please here. But we want you back. We want to hear from you all. We're here every Friday. So we're back to our normal schedule. We're going to mix things up in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully, we're looking to have on some different guests, some different callers, people chiming in, letting us know what they're thinking, what they're drinking about the wrestling industry. A lot of different things coming up in the next month, future months for the show. So we're super excited, and we're so thankful for all of you for joining us as usual. So we are about 15 minutes out from SmackDown if you're listening to us live. So we will wrap this up here. Any last thoughts, Nikki, before we go?
No, we got 15 minutes. Go get your snacks, take your dogs out, use the facilities. I'm excited for SmackDown after Mania.
Our dog is asleep potato right now, so we're enjoying this. But until next time, we run a little long here, but always a pleasure. And the pleasure is always ours. But we hope you'll join us next week, Friday at 6. Enjoy SmackDown tonight. But until next time, you don't have to go home.
But you can't stay here. Bye.